China, one of the countries that want to dominate the South China Sea and is causing problems for the Philippines. Some people say China is acting like a bully because it's a big and powerful country, while the Philippines is smaller. They're arguing over who controls what in the ocean, and it's causing a lot of trouble. But a long time ago, something different happened. Back then, this powerful country was attacked by a group of mysterious pirates. These pirates, who are a major threat to the Chinese economy, came from a bunch of kingdoms in Southeast Asia, which is now where the Philippines is. These groups were the Pi-shi-yeh or Visayans, who were known for being brave warriors and terrorized China in 1174 AD. According to Chinese records, Filipinos went to China before the Chinese came to the Philippines. Back in the Tang Dynasty, the Chinese didn't really know about any lands between Taiwan and Java, except for a place called Polo, which might have been Borneo. They thought the far reaches of the South China Sea were the end of the world, a mysterious and dangerous place with only a few legendary islands, possibly inhabited by tiny people and folks with black teeth. The first tribute mission from the Philippines to China is believed to have originated from Butuan, now recognized as Butuan. Butuan is described in the Song history as a small country located in the sea to the east of Champa, which is further away from China. The Chinese accounts depicted Butuan as a Hindu country with a Buddhist monarchy, under the rule of a leader named Chiling, also known as Raja Kiling. Butuan and its king Kiling became quite well known during this time. For 4 years in a row, King Kiling sent missions to China. They brought red parrots along with the usual products like tortoise shells. Then, in 1004, the Chinese court made a rule that they couldn't export Chinese goods, gold, silver, and even special items like ceremonial flags and banners directly to Butuan. The people in China were concerned that those from distant lands might not follow the rules properly. In the following 2 years, Kiling dispatched 2 more envoys named Lihan and Jiaminan, but this time their mission was to engage in negotiations with the Sung dynasty. Their objective was to secure permission for Butuan to conduct direct trade with the Sung dynasty, bypassing the need to route their goods through Champa. But Champa had been sending missions to China since the 4th century, making it one of China's oldest tribute-giving states. So, when King Kiling asked for Butuan to be treated the same as Champa, China said no because they considered Butuan to be of lower status than Champa. Then, a new ruler with the impressive name or title of Sri Bhatta Shaja made another attempt. In 1011, he sent a person named Pi-shi-yeh to China with a message engraved on a gold tablet, valuable products from North Butuan like white dragon camphor and cloves from the Moluccan Islands, and even a person from the South Sea, which surprised the emperor when presented during a special ceremony. The Sung dynasty was really impressed, especially because they believed the cloves came from Arabia, a far-off place. Because of these gifts, the Sung dynasty agreed to treat Butuan as an equal trading partner, just like they did with Champa. Still, it's important to note that the connection between the Chinese and the pre-colonial Filipinos wasn't always friendly. Several years after establishing direct trade ties with Butuan, the Chinese found themselves in conflict with another group from the archipelago, but this time, the interaction was marked by hostility. Thousands of pirates attacked the coast of Fujian province in China. They caused a lot of destruction, killing people and stealing whatever they could. This area was important for trade, and these attacks really hurt the Chinese economy. These pirate attacks happened regularly for several years, and they often went after Chinese merchant ships loaded with valuable stuff. The Visayans would attack these ships, kill the people on board, and take all the valuable cargo. These men were called Pi-shi-yeh, which means savages from the south. At first, the Chinese believed these raiders might be people from Formosa, which is now known as Taiwan. They thought the Pi-shi-yeh were similar to another group called Pa'azehi, who came from a place in Formosa called Papo on the Teoku Plain. However, they soon realized that the Pi-shi-yeh were different. In short, the Pi-shi-yeh raiders didn't actually come from Formosa. And their way of raiding was unlike the behavior of the tribes in Formosa because they never attacked or visited the Chinese coastline. But who were these Asian raiders? In a Chinese report, these raiders went into battle naked, having dark skin and speaking a language that couldn't be understood. It was described also that Pi-shi-yeh had head-to-toe tribal tattoos, which common Filipino practice of Pintados. This practice was widespread on the islands of Samar, Leyte, Cebu, and Panay. Another important clue came from the way they built their boats. They used bamboo rafts that were tied together with cloth straps or joined by lashing and lugging, which means they connected planks and bamboo sections using pins and dowels. Scholars from the Song dynasty, Sho and Ma, wrote about a specific type of boat called the Balanghay, which could carry many Visayan warriors. These boats were used by the native people of the Philippines and continued to be used until the Spanish colonial period. Even during the Spanish era, the Spaniards were amazed at how well these boats worked and how simple they were. Filipino pirates used these clever boats to escape from Spanish patrols in the 16th and 17th centuries AD. The Balanghay boat design was quite basic and straightforward, making it suitable for both river and deep-sea travel. These boats were well suited for navigating the South China Sea. Moreover, due to their design, they could easily transport any stolen goods the pirates gathered. These raids happened during a specific time of the year. There are ocean currents in the Pacific Ocean that start on the western coast of Central America, move towards the Philippines, and then split into two streams. One of these streams ran along the eastern side of the Philippines, starting from Samar Island and going beyond Formosa to Yokohama, Japan. This stream would have allowed Filipino pirates, using their Balanghay boats, to quickly travel north to the shores of Southeast China and beyond, and then return to where they began. And why did the ancient Visayans choose piracy when their own country possessed wealth like gold and silver? The Visayan raiders, much like Vikings, undertook journeys for various reasons like getting married, capturing slaves, forming alliances, or seeking revenge. They had a term for these adventures, which they called Maingaya, meaning to raid an enemy territory. Maingaya wasn't just something the Visayans did, it was a common practice among ancient Filipinos from various regions. Visayan warriors who succeeded in kaya in their communities were respected for their great prowess and power. But for Visayans, the main reason of raiding China is to get resources. According to ancient Chinese accounts, these raiders were mainly interested in one thing: high-quality iron, something that China was known for producing exceptionally well. They looted anything made of iron, from armor to everyday items like doorknobs, jars, and chopsticks. The Chinese government took a number of steps to try to stop the Visayan raids, including building forts and deploying warships. In 1189 AD, the Song government sent a fleet of warships to the Philippines in an attempt to scare off the Visayans. The fleet was defeated by the Visayans, and the Chinese were forced to abandon their efforts to stop the raids. The Visayan raids on China eventually stopped in the 13th century. We are not exactly sure why, but it could be because the Visayans got worried about the growing strength of the Song Navy. They might have also started targeting other places like the Indonesian islands. These raids had a big impact on both the Chinese and the Visayans. The Chinese began to respect and fear the Visayans as strong and capable people. On the other hand, the Visayans saw themselves as powerful and independent, even standing up to big empires. The story of the Visayan pirates reminds us of the Philippines' rich history. It's a story of sailing trade, battles, and sharing culture. It's also a story of how the Filipino people showed their strength and determination.